actually, I'm not. Before I get into my last sound healing experience, blah, blah, blah. So that happened. And then last week I talked about, or maybe it was a couple weeks, 2 episodes ago, but like I was talking about anxiety and like the thing I was going through and like the manifestation and the prayer. And so basically what happened was I manifested something from when I got that job. I was like, I am going on President's Club this year. I want to go on President's Club so bad. Like, I want to be a top performer and I want to go on President's Club. And I like, even my boss would tell you, like, I went up to her and said that when we first found out about President's Club. And like the chances of me being able to go on that it's in May. So like the chances of me reaching the yearly quota, the percentage that I had to hit to go on it was slim. And like, I pretty much accepted I wasn't going on it this year, but like I always had a little bit of hope in my mind. And like when I first found out about it, I was manifesting it a lot. And then as I like learned more, because I found out about it like less than a month into the job, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I manifested it for a little while, and then I started to like backtrack a little bit because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get that. And the cutoff was April 1st, so like I had at that point 3 months to get it. And I was like, yeah, that's probably not gonna happen, but like, let's just grind my little ass off so like I can be the top performer that I want to be. I was working really hard. I was manifesting that a lot and like writing that shit down all the time. Lo and behold, I got this huge sale that qualified me for President's Club. Like, got the sale, we celebrated, everybody was like patting me on the back. You know, I'm 3 months into a job, and like that was a huge accomplishment just in my book. Was so happy. And so this is what I didn't want to talk about that episode, which was the guy that signed stopped answering me after he signed. I had to get one more signature from him, and he wasn't answering me. And so at that last week when I was talking about this, like I was like, I think he's backing out, and I'm gonna feel like such a fraud and such a loser, and manifesting doesn't work, and like all of this thing has been for naught, and like blah 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 blah. Because when I got the sale, like the gratitude that I had, I first of all I did sob and I cried, and I literally was just like, holy fuck, like it works, like holy fuck, it works. And then when he stopped answering me, like first 2 days I was like, whatever, like he probably, because he knew the situation, which was like, if I get this, it was the end of the month, so I was like I didn't even think it would qualify me for President's Club, but I was like, let me hit my quota this month. And like he knew that was the thing, like whatever. And so he called me on 12 o'clock on the Friday before the deadline. The deadline was 2 p.m. that Friday. He called me at 12. And he was like, hey, got a sign for you, like just send it. I was like, God bless. And then he ghosted me when I was trying to get like everything logistically installed. And he was like, and so he just didn't, I still haven't heard from him, but my boss has heard from him, so whatever. He like ghosted me, and I was like, oh my God, like, is this normal? Am I gonna have to backtrack? And because this was my first like huge sale, I really just wasn't, like, I didn't know what normal was. And I kept trying to look to my bosses for reassurance, but they were just like, hey, like, stay neutral. And I was like, how the fuck do I stay neutral at this time? And so blah blah blah, was freaking out, like was like feeling really really defeated, like damn, like all this work and this manifestation and this hope, and fuck, like to think that was all gonna backtrack, just like my fucking heart, dude, my heart was in my ass. Last week was having nightmares about him backing out. Like pretty much accepted after I went to church that day, and like had this like, okay, I basically just had to accept that like I'm not a failure. I had a huge spiritual moment at church that day, and was like, I'm not gonna be a failure if this doesn't go through. Like I still worked really hard, and like my life can still look the way I want it to. And blah, 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 blah. Like, I just accepted it because at the end of the day, it was my ego. Like, I knew it was my ego. And so I just had like an even bigger realization and a bigger sense of peace about it. And I was like, you know what? Manifestation and prayer does work. Like everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen. And like, it sucks if this doesn't work out, but like, just keep going. And I truly think like I needed to have that realization about not only like my work, but like the universe of like, not everything is in my control. And just because all these things that you can imagine, like I just had to fucking accept it. And I did. And like, I felt a weird sense of peace that Monday when my regional was coming. And like, I knew I was gonna have a conversation with him. And he was like, you know, what's going on? And I explained everything. And he was like, all right, like I will call, or like I will show up and we'll figure it out. And he got in touch with him, and he's just been fucking off for a week. Didn't know he was giving me a heart attack, but he just was like, I got a sign for you to get your quota, like leave me alone, basically. And yeah, he just like didn't realize that the weight of the world was on my shoulders. And like, to me, I'm like, obviously it's my job and like, this is our product. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is the center of my universe. But he's like, dude, like I have to run a business. So yeah, obviously like it was a little bit of just me freaking out, but also not, because what the fuck? But basically the universe just proved itself to me again, and God and angels and energies and what the fuck, everything else that's out there. So like that was a huge spiritual moment last week. And then this weekend I went to a open heart manifestation retreat, and it basically was like that sound healing and conscious breathwork class that I did. That was only 2 hours. It was basically like that for 8 hours. No, it was longer. It was a 10:30 to 7, but it went until like 8:30. How many hours is that? I can't count. Like 10 hours? Basically 10 and a half hours? 10 hours. First we did a meditation, and we ate like a bunch of like chakra aligned food, and we like, I don't know, we did like we did eye gazing and like affirmations in the mirror, and then at the end we were doing this conscious breath work and sound healing again. And the way that she describes it, Michelle Shalin, she says like, because we've been in this meditative state basically all day, like we've been opening our energies, our chakras to the universe all day, like we are in a much more susceptible state to reaching that like blah blah blah, the state of consciousness or whatever, or unconsciousness, that we're trying to achieve with this breathing. We're going to be able to achieve it faster and like better. And so I was super interested, because obviously the first time I did it, I had a great, crazy in touch experience. And so I'm like, sweet, like, let's see what this brings. And so we're doing it. The whole time I feel like I'm on the precipice of what I felt the previous time. And I felt it longer. So like the first time I did it, it was like 15 minutes and I was dry heaving. And then this time I was like, I'm right there, like I'm in that state, and I feel so good and so calm, and like I feel my hands at this point were actually locked up. Like I couldn't move my hands. My feet felt like they were disembodied. Like I felt just like amazing. I felt like sense of like calm, and just I felt like I was just healing being in that state. And I was like, all right, like I guess I just didn't need to, like you go into it with an intention, and my intention this time was to, like, I was like, tell me what I need to do, tell me what I need to release to like level up, like what's the next level for me, and how do I achieve it? And like the whole time I was like, maybe I just need to like get into this state more, like maybe that's the answer. And like I just kept looking for the answer in my brain. I was like, what other question could I ask that maybe will come through? And you know, because she says you can ask multiple questions. Like if you start with one and you feel like you get the answer, move on to another one. But like I wasn't really feeling any answer. And then towards the end of it, like there's music playing the whole time to like keep you breathing in the pace that you need to be. And like towards the end, basically the end, she puts on like a slower song to like come down essentially. And I don't know what it's called, but it says the lyrics, it's like a basically an affirmation song, and it's like, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And like I remembered it from last time, so I like kind of started singing it in my head, just like as like, oh, like happy little time. And then like happy little remembrance, like what a great experience. This was like great and healing and calming. And then like as I started saying that over and over again, a bunch of thoughts started to flood me. And then I started crying and sobbing again. And I was like, oh, like here it is. And like basically the thoughts that I was having were, I wrote it down. Let's read, shall we? I just am always trying to improve myself, like to a fault where it's like not trying to improve myself. I'm just trying to change myself, and like I don't like who I am. Not as in like a self-improvement. I love myself so much that I want to do more. It's like, I don't like who I am. It comes off as very self-improvement-y, and like I'm just like trying to like do the most and like blah 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 blah. But in my heart of hearts, it's like I am not satisfied with who I am as a person. And so the thoughts that were coming to me at this time were like, even the question you asked going into this was not about self-improvement. It's like, I don't like myself. How can I do better? And I realized just like my entire life, I've been trying to change myself, whether it be my looks, my personality. Like I'm always trying to become more likable, more adaptable. Like how can I make people around me like me more and like myself more? Like it seems so obvious, but I was like, girl, like you just need to like literally you just need to love yourself. You literally just need to love yourself. You need to stop trying to change everything about yourself and love yourself, because I am good as I am. And that's the first thing I wrote. I am good as I am. Because like, holy fuck, I am good as I am. I am literally dope. like I am such a cool person, and I know this about myself, like in my head, but like deep down, do I know? But like I work hard. I love my friends and family. Like I make sure they know that. Like I'm a good person. And I do nice things, and I do good things for myself all the time. And it's still never enough. It's never enough for myself. And in my head, it is never going to be enough. Why is that? Why is it once I've reached the most unattainable thing that I think isn't possible for myself, I'm unsatisfied immediately? And like some people view that as like a good thing. Like you're always gonna want to achieve more, but I need to be able to appreciate that I've done these things for myself. And then I can want more. And I realized I needed to change the way that I was like thinking about the things that I need to do. This feels like it sounds all over the place, but whatever. Like one of the things that I constantly do is I always want to add in like good habits, healthy habits, like habits. I'm just like all about like building my routine. And that's something I've struggled with my entire life, of like knowing I should meditate and I should pray and I should read and I should gua sha and I should do my whole skincare routine and I should eat this way and I should work out and I should stretch in the morning and I should not use my phone at night and I should. And because it's always coming from this like place of guilt, it never sticks with me, because it's always like I should do that, like because I'm not good if I don't. But it's like I need to understand that like I need to rephrase it in my head. And Michelle was talking about how powerful like the way you say things to yourself is, because saying like I need to meditate and I should do this and I need to do this and I like to blah blah blah, like that's like implying that like if I don't do it, something is not good about me or wrong. And if I just say like I'd like to meditate this morning, I'm going to meditate this morning, why don't I? No, not why don't I, but like the way that I'm saying it in my head is like very judgmental and implies something like negative if I don't do it. And like for me to just leave it open to the possibility of like, yeah, maybe I'll read this morning. When I do that, I'll read for a fucking hour and a half, 2 hours. Like if I don't tell myself you need to read in the morning when you wake up, Like when I do that, I don't want to fucking read. Like what am I doing? Why am I holding so much judgment for myself if I don't do 18 self-improvement things before 7 a.m.? Like I literally go to work at 7 a.m. and I get back at 5, and like I don't have a 9 to 5 before my, or I don't have a 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5. I have a 5 to 7, not even, because I leave at like 6:50. And like, why am I holding so much fucking judgment for myself for not being able to do 18 self-improvement things before the sun comes up? Why? Why am I judging myself for not being able to work out all the times that I want to, just because I'm working so hard to build the life that I want, and eventually I will get to be able to do the routines that I want. And right now I'm doing what I can, which is like 3 times a week instead of fucking 5. Because that's the space that I can hold for myself right now. Stop judging yourself on those 2 days where you allow yourself to rest, but you're judging yourself the whole time you're resting. What the fuck? Like I just had this realization of like, there's nothing I can do at this point, because this sounds not the right way, but like, I know all the things that I need to do. Like I know all the things that I need to do to accomplish the things that I want to do. Bear with me. Like the next thing to be able to do all of those things is to love myself through it. And this is something that I've struggled with my entire life. And it's why nothing has ever stuck my entire life, because everything comes from a place of, I should do this. If I don't do this, it's because I'm not good enough. Same thing with piano and guitar. I'll write in my planner, practice 20 minutes. And like, yes, to some extent you need to have like determination and willpower and like do the things if you need to do them. But like also not all the time, like not all the time about every single thing in your fucking life. Like your entire life should not be regimented. And that's what I was doing. I had, read, meditate, yoga, journal, gua sha, like I had my whole morning planned out, like to down to brushing my fucking teeth, basic. Like I might as well have. And like just this realization that I can't do all of these things out of a place of self-hate. And that was the next thing I wrote. And this is a funny story after this. So I wrote, self-love can't come out of self-hate. If all of the things that I label as self-love, that I label as a self-love act, are out of dislike for who I currently am, it's not self-love. So that didn't make sense. But at the time I was in a trippy state. So basically, self-love can't come out of self-hate if I do all the things that are labeled as self-love out of a dislike for who I currently am. It's, oh no, that doesn't make sense. It's not self-love. So, and then I read that out loud, because like we all share, and then I got the vibe that like people were like, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it was just me feeling judged because I am me. But like I got, like this one woman said, but if it gets you to do the self-love things, and I was like, no, like that's not what I mean. And I get where she was saying like do them until you love yourself, but like it's different. It's in my head, it's different. And like I understand what she was saying, and I think that's a different thing. Like for me, I have to work around the way that I'm, because I didn't explain the things that I just said. Like I didn't explain, obviously, that like I make myself do all of these things, and it's out of like this should, you need to do these things to be a good person and to be worthy and to like be doing something with your life. I didn't explain that. So like now I'm like, I'm going to do these things as felt, without judgment if I don't do them, and like be at peace with that and allow yourself to rest. Because what always ends up happening is I won't do it, say like reading in the morning or at night. Instead of reading, I'll watch a show, and then I just judge myself the whole fucking time. I'm like, you should really be reading right now. Like I can't even like enjoy the show because I'm judging myself. And I just need to like, girl, Miss Ma'am, what are you doing? Relax. So what the fuck was this episode? And another thing that she said in like after that sound healing, she reads like this guided meditation, and a part of it said, this isn't the exact words, but it basically says, no amount of wealth or gain will work the way that meeting self will. Basically in the context of like feeling fulfilled. And like that just like further solidified to me what I'm doing with my life, because especially with not drinking, like I've become so clear and so aware and so sure that almost contradicts itself, because I'm like, no amount of wealth or gain, but like no amount of wealth or gain in the context of like that's what you want out of your life. Like for me, it's like the wealth and gain in order to be able to meet self, to have the time to do things like this, to fill my heart with joy by like being with the people I love. Because I, for the longest time, grappled with, and this is a conversation I just had with one of my friends, one of the people that's known me for a very long time. Shout out Brianna. She's known me since high school. Not too many people that I'm currently friends with know me, have known me for that long. And she, like, we were both just like talking about like finding a sense of like purpose and passion in your life. And that's something that I grappled with when I was younger and trying to figure out like, what the fuck am I passionate about? And like, to me at the time, I was like, I'm passionate about whatever it is. And like, I could never find a line of work that I could really get passionate about. And once I changed my passion from like, you don't need to be passionate about the line of work, but you can be passionate about the way that your work allows you to live. And that's where I'm at now. And so that's what's like my driving force, is like, I am passionate about the way that money will be able to change my life for what I want it to look like. Mic drop. All of this is to say that, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about my, I hate to say spiritual journey, like, but it's my spiritual journey, dog. And it's been like up and down, and it's been out of my life and back in, and right now it's in full throttle. And I don't see it backing out anytime soon, just because of the ways that it's like, it's changed my life now in ways that I don't think I could ever like step back from it. And it's been 3 months. Like, it's been 3 months of like really dedicated manifesting, praying, like holy shit. It's so crazy to me. So if you're, I don't know if there's really any advice in this, but if you can find a holotropic breathwork class, because it's hard to do on your own. Like, it's hard to like dedicatedly sit for 40 minutes and breathe a certain way. And it's just so much easier when you're in the headspace with a bunch of like a collective, like you feel the energy, like regardless of what you want to say, you do feel the energy of other people. And like when you're all consciously working towards this state, it helps you get into that state easier. But if you're in a similar position as me, or I was, like, get so clear on your values and your, like, what you want out of life, like what you really want out of life, down to the like tile on the floor in the house that you want. Be so clear and actively manifest it, and actively figure out how you can achieve that. How much money do you need to put away each month? How many, what kind of people do you need around you? What kind of people do you need to cut out? What kind of activities do you need to cut out? For me, drinking was a big one. Like, drinking took away, I'm pissed about how much time it's taken away from me. And like, now that I'm a little bit over 100 days, I literally don't even like, I don't want it. I don't want it at all. I'm good. Like, I'm so clear, and I'm so in touch, and I'm so like, I can't even describe to you what not drinking has done for me. And that's not everybody's journey. That's fine. But like, be mindful of the activities that you're doing and how you're spending your free time. What are you doing with your free time? Because, not to brag, but like, I woke up at 6 a.m. today and I read for 2 hours, and I already made breakfast, and I've already done a load of dishes, and I'm recording this podcast. Like, are you spending half of your precious weekend hungover when you could be doing like side hustles or like things that make you happy and bring you passion? Now, I'm not trying to be judgy, because like, I was doing that up until 100 days ago, but like, just seeing the other side of it, it's like, why the fuck would you waste that time? And there's people that like you can do both. You can drink and like not get wrecked and have your mornings and like do all the things, but like I don't know, if you're in a cycle of doing that every weekend, like I feel like that's time to tune inward and like get really clear, because to me it sounds like you're avoiding something. Because I was doing that. I was avoiding. Whew. So I don't know. If you're not religious or spiritual, sorry, not the right episode for you. But if you are, or you're like dabbling with it and you want to get deeper, I 100% recommend taking a class like that, seeking those people out. I'm just getting so fucking clear and writing it every fucking day, because it works. It literally works. It works, dude. It works. Energies are so real. Angels are so real. The God in the universe and the creator and whoever it is so real. Like there's no way. There's literally no way it's not. Sorry, atheists. That's all for this week. I hope I've inspired you to like branch out and maybe do something else this weekend instead of spending $100 on drinks and Ubers. Spend $100 on a retreat or a class. The first class I went to was only $40. Like, bruh, you spend $40 on 2 cocktails. Go, if you tip your waiter the right way. Which, just for a second, if you're not tipping your waiter 22 to 25% when they're doing an excellent job or a good job, and then 30% plus, you're the problem. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in. But how about I just say tip your waiters, even if they're only making you a cocktail. Even if you're only sitting at the bar, tip your waiters. And if it's only one drink, at least tip them $5. It's the least you could do. If you're getting a $10 cocktail and you think you can get away with tipping $2, incorrect. Tip $5. Okay, bye. I hope I've inspired you to take a look at the ways that you're currently living your life and see if you can live more aligned with yourself and more aligned with like the way that the universe has planned for you. And I hope that you are inspired to maybe cut out the bullshit in your life a little bit, out of love and want and hope for yourself, and not out of like hate for yourself, but like do the things out of love. Find self-love again. Finding yourself and meeting your highest self is the ultimate way to like get on the right path. And I feel like I've been meeting my higher self every day a little bit more, and it's I just feel like I'm on the fucking path. Like I've never felt so on the path. It feels so good. Ooh. But like find your path, find your values out, find your tribe. Things I say all the time. And yeah, do something spiritual and witchy and cast a spell. And tap into your energies, because they're so real and they're so around us. And if you look for them, and if you actively like look for them, you can feel them. You so can. Wow, I just feel so revitalized after yesterday. I'm like tired because it's a very exhausting like work, but it was a beautiful experience. And yeah, have a beautiful weekend. I hope that you have the best day ever, and I hope you get some great news, and I hope you feel amazing and beautiful and blessed today. Stay blessed, y'all. All right now, Nanny. I'm gonna go.